Pain is something we all try to avoid, yet it finds its way into our lives no matter how much we resist. It comes in different forms: loss, betrayal, failure, heartbreak. And when it does, it often leaves us questioning everything. We wonder why it had to happen, why things couldn't have gone differently, why God allowed us to go through something so difficult. In those moments, it feels like life is unfair, like our suffering has no purpose, and like we have been abandoned. But what if the pain we feel is not a mistake? What if it is part of something bigger, something that we cannot see in the moment, but will come to understand later? God, in His infinite wisdom, does not allow pain without a purpose. Everything that happens, even the things that break us, is a part of His divine plan. He sees what we cannot see. He knows what we do not know. And sometimes He allows pain not to punish us, but to prepare us. When we are comfortable, when everything is going smoothly, we rarely grow. We remain where we are, content with what we have. But pain shakes us. It forces us to move. It pushes us in directions we would never go on our own. It strips away the illusions we hold about life, about people, and even about ourselves. It teaches us lessons that we would never learn otherwise. There are moments in life when we lose things we thought we could never live without. We face rejection from people we love. We encounter failure after working so hard for something. And we experience situations that break our hearts into pieces. In those moments, it is easy to think that everything is falling apart, that life is unfair, and that God has forgotten about us. But what if everything is actually falling into place? What if that pain is necessary for us to become the person we were meant to be? We may not see it now, but there will come a time when we look back and realize that what we thought was the worst thing that could happen was actually one of the best things that ever happened to us. Pain has a way of revealing the truth. It shows us who our real friends are. It teaches us who truly cares for us and who only pretended to. It makes us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It helps us develop patience, endurance, and a deeper understanding of life. If we never experienced hardship, we would never appreciate ease. If we never faced betrayal, we would never understand the value of loyalty. If we never encountered failure, we would never push ourselves to grow beyond our limits. Pain is a teacher, and though its lessons are hard, they are necessary. Sometimes what seems like a setback is actually a setup for something greater. The doors that close in front of us are often protecting us from things we cannot see. The people who walk away from our lives are sometimes being removed for a reason. The failures we face are sometimes guiding us toward a different path, one that is better for us in ways we do not yet understand. When we trust that God's plan is greater than our pain, we begin to see things differently. We stop seeing pain as something meant to destroy us and start recognizing it as something meant to shape us. We may not understand it now, but we can have faith that one day everything will make sense. Suffering is one of the hardest things to endure, yet it is also one of the most powerful tools for growth. It challenges us, forces us to change, and pushes us beyond our limits. No one enjoys suffering, but if we look back at the times we struggled the most, we often realize that those were the moments that transformed us. Growth rarely happens in comfort. When everything is easy, we stay the same. We remain in the same mindset, the same habits, and the same way of thinking. But suffering disrupts that. It shakes us, forces us to reevaluate, and leads us to places we never imagined going. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. Almost all of them have faced suffering in some form. The most inspiring stories are not the ones of people who had everything handed to them. They are the stories of those who endured hardships, who fell but got back up, who faced obstacles but kept moving forward. Every difficulty they faced shaped them into who they became. The pain they experienced gave them strength. The struggles they went through gave them wisdom. The suffering they endured gave them resilience. Without those challenges, they would not have grown into the people they were meant to be. When we suffer, we often ask why. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to feel this pain? But the real question is not why, but what? What is this trying to teach me? What lesson is hidden within this struggle? What kind of person will I become because of this? The moment we stop seeing suffering as something meant to destroy us and start seeing it as something meant to grow us, everything changes. We begin to realize that suffering is not a punishment, but a process. It is a process of refining, of shaping, of preparing us for something greater. Every challenge we face forces us to become stronger. Every setback teaches us perseverance. Every loss makes us appreciate what we still have. Growth is never easy. It requires breaking, reshaping, and rebuilding. Just like a seed must break through the soil to grow into a tree, we must go through hardship to reach our full potential. If we were never challenged, we would never know how strong we truly are. If we were never tested, we would never develop resilience. If we never suffered, we would never grow. There are moments in life when suffering feels unbearable. The weight of pain feels too heavy to carry, and it seems like there is no end to the struggle. But what if this suffering is leading to something greater? What if every tear, every hardship, every difficulty is preparing us for something beyond what we can see? The greatest growth often happens after the deepest suffering. The people who rise the highest are often the ones who have fallen the hardest. The strongest souls are the ones who have endured the most pain. We do not always understand why we suffer, but we can trust that it is not without purpose. The pain we feel today may be the strength we need tomorrow. The suffering we endure now may be preparing us for something far greater than we can imagine. If we embrace suffering as part of the journey, if we see it as a step toward growth rather than an obstacle, we begin to find meaning in our struggle. We begin to realize that every hardship is shaping us, every difficulty is teaching us, and every moment of suffering is leading us to something greater